Get on here and let everybody know the updates, what's going on. It's been a crazy couple weeks, y'all. I want to let y'all know that I have not stopped my fight. You know, it's not because I'm stopping with it or not going to refile it or anything like that. It's just a lot going on behind closed doors. Hey, we got to step back and play chess, not checkers. So
the courtroom was a pressure cooker, its silence heavier than 1,000 voices, pressing down on every chest, daring anyone to breathe too loudly. Each inhale ricocheted off the cold stone walls, amplifying the unbearable weight of waiting. The air itself seemed to hold its breath, thick with dread, as if the building knew the truth it was about to unleash. Every second stretched longer, every heartbeat louder, until it felt like the entire room was standing on the edge of collapse, because one sentence, a single string of words, could shatter reputations, topple legacies, and alter lives forever.
Do you believe wholeheartedly that JayZ is your father?
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot, I've seen a lot. I could take me being embarrassed. Like this can't take nobody not saying nothing. Like, you know, it's not fair. I was 7. My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now. And she been saying, Sean Carter, that's what she was calling him at first before she was calling him JayZ. And I really didn't know who that was because I was young and, you know, had my little brother and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but I really, this was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know it is. This person is your father, and I just want you to know. And she continued to tell me that over the years and over the years and over the years, even until I was grown. He never tried to contact me in any type of way, and that's all I'm asking is like, cause I honestly really want the case to be over with. Like I've been going through, just like I said, a lot, and as I said, I'm not chasing nobody. I'm not trying to do this to make somebody seem like a bad person, a bad father. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why are you? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over with. I work every day. I also have my own kids to take care of. So it's like, it's been a journey for me, and it's just like, you know, I just got so much on my name right now. I never ask for money. I don't do interviews just saying, hey, JayZ, give me your money, or I'm coming at the JayZ for his money. I never did that. I'm not that type of person. I work for everything. I work for everything. Next is I'm just trying to basically make sure no other kids or nobody else in the world has to go through this. Basically, don't feel afraid to go to court and see if a person is your biological parents. You know, so many people are scared, and this is a big thing in the world. A lot of people don't have their fathers because they scared to go out and search for them, and sometimes it only take a little search. You know, go search, and if it's wrong, we're adults. Well, most of us adults, even for the teenagers, this being a role model for them, showing you can go in the courtroom, and if you're doing everything correctly, you should be able to just get treated as equal as the other person. You know, I've always been a person that I never hate anyone. I never, you know, I don't walk around with hate for a person. So I try to teach my kids that just be the best that you can be. So that's just a motto I go off. I would never hate JayZ. You know, it was never that type thing. You know, I respect him for everything he did. And as I said, I've been going through a whole lot through these years because this case, like me, my mom, my godmom, we didn't seen the worst. We didn't have people, you know, slander my name like you want JayZ money, and I hear it all.
At the center of the storm sat Sean Carter, JayZ, the name that had long echoed with power, wealth, and untouchable dominance, a man who had bent entire industries to his will. Yet in this room, none of that mattered. His billions, his empire, his carefully built legacy dangled on the edge of a fragile thread, the truth waiting to be spoken aloud. The judge adjusted his stack of documents with clinical precision, his face carved in stone, his voice controlled. But beneath the calm lingered the weight of a revelation that could shatter everything. The chamber leaned closer, every heartbeat synced to the silence, every eye locked on his lips as though the next breath would decide history. Reporters gripped their pens like weapons, twitching to unleash a firestorm of headlines. Lawyers whispered in frantic bursts, and outside, fans pressed against barricades, their voices rising like thunder rolling closer, ready to crash when the verdict fell.
I mean, I don't know what it is between Nicki Minaj. I know that she said something about the son, JayZ's son.
Yeah, but he just dropped that lawsuit.
Or she did.
You know, but he said he's still going to file. I don't know. I don't think that's his son.
I do.
You do?
Hmm.
Why do you say that?
Because I don't think JayZ would offer him no money at all if it wasn't his son.
I don't think he offered him
Yeah,
money.
he offered him money.
Really?
Yeah.
See, but sometimes, listen, you got to understand. You've never been sued, have you?
No.
I've been sued multiple times. Like, you reach a point where financially it makes sense to settle, right? Like, I had a lawsuit where she wanted like $600,000. It was like a former employee that was just came up with a whole bullshit, accusation that had nothing to do with me and blah, blah, blah. It was just a whole bullshit situation. And ultimately, we got to the point where we spent about $75,000 already in legal fees. And she ultimately said, I'll take $75,000 to settle. So it was going to be like, all right, we've already spent $75,000. If we go to court, I'm going to spend probably another $300,000. And I could probably win because there's really nothing here. But do I want to, once I spend the $300,000, I can't sue her and get it back.
And even if you win, you still lost.
I still lost.
Yeah.
I won, but I've just spent $400,000, right? So do I want to just back up out of it with $75,000, or do I want to spend $400,000 to make a point? I don't have $400,000 to make a point. Jay got $400,000 to make a point.
Let me ask you a question though. If you pop somebody's mom, pop the lady, would you take the test?
What do you mean?
So say it's a kid like, yo, I think you might be my dad. You pop the mom, would you take? I'm asking you, would you take the test?
Well, the problem with this story is that they're saying the mom was underage.
I'm saying, but besides all I'm saying, it might be your son. But that part, like, all right, the mom of the age.
The underage part makes it all very dicey. See what I'm saying? Like,
so past the fact that might be your son.
What do you mean?
Like, so if it might be a son, like, because the mom was underage, you wouldn't want to find out?
I mean, if it's going to ruin your whole life.
I don't think it'll ruin his whole life.
You made a very bad decision 30 years ago.
But your son? So you see, my thing is this, I'm not running from, if it's my son, I want to know.
Yeah, listen, I get it, right? And I have kids
Especially
as well.
If I got $1 billion, I'm not.
I have kids as well, and I think it's a very hard choice because it's and the mom is dead at this point.
Yeah, it's the same.
So, but then again,
it's not hard for me.
You're gonna, if Jay takes that DNA test and it proves to be positive, he's gonna be Jay the pedophile, right?
But don't your kids come before you? They supposed to.
They're supposed to.
So imagine you had a kid out here, the mom died when he was about 10, 11 years old. He's been out here by himself, right?
Look.
Would you care about your image more than a possible seed that's yours?
I think Jay cares about his image.
Of course you got me saying, but most men,
kids,
I don't think, if you take 100 men, I take 50-50. It'd be 50-50.
I don't know, man.
Especially if you already 50-something years old. It ain't like you 10, 20, 25.
It's JayZ. He's married to Beyonce. He's got a huge company. He's got, that NFL deal would go away just like that. I mean, everything would go away. Everything would go away. I mean, he'd still be rich as hell, but everything.
The roar outside thundered against the courthouse walls, waves of anticipation reverberating through the glass as the world held its breath. Then, with a voice that carried the weight of inevitability, the judge spoke the words that would echo across history. The paternity test was official. The DNA matched. The evidence was irrefutable. Rumors dissolved into fact, whispers into truth. JayZ was the biological father of Rymir, a truth he had fought to bury for years. The chamber detonated in shock. Gasps collided with cries, a symphony of disbelief and vindication tearing through the air. Reporters scrambled like predators unleashed, pens flying, cameras flashing in a relentless storm of light. The frantic click of keyboards bled into chaos as headlines were born in real time. Outside, the crowd transformed. Murmurs ignited into screams, whispers into chants, until the revelation spread like wildfire, consuming everything in its path. And in that inferno of truth, the untouchable was touched at last.
Recently, and he thinks that a lot of Jay-Z's success was because he was married to Beyonce.
I don't think that's true.
No?
No. Because before he was getting married to Beyonce, he was popping already.
That's true, but he got more popping with Beyonce.
But I can see why 50 Cent would say that. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand 50 Cent saying that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, JayZ, even if he might steal your songs, he might do all that, but JayZ is a rapping ass person. Like, I mean, he got drive. And he's smart. You know what I mean? So like he's gonna bust a move out. I think it helped both of them being together. I think it helped both of them. It made both of them. You know what I mean? So like 50 Cent supposed to say that though. Like, I mean,
well, yeah, I mean, 50 Cent, he kind of started his career dissing Jay-Z.
Yeah, I remember. I was in New York when that song first came out. I was in New York and that shit came out. I'm like, damn, who the fuck is this? I said, he got bought. He dissed. I was like, he dissed him? Or was it Fat Joe? It was Big Pun, I think. Was it Big Pun?
No, I mean, How to Rob dissed everybody.
Yeah, I remember one person he dissed, like, I think it was Big Pun or Fat Joe. Somebody, I'm like, dang,
It was Big Pun. He said, Rob Pun without a gun. Grab his piece and run.
Yeah,
You're weighing 400 pounds. They gonna catch me, son.
Yeah. That shit was catchy to come on like that. But 50 Cent got one song that he got that's like one of my favorite all-time songs called Many Men. That Many Men song, that shit like that. I played Many Men so much, my son was too little to really be able to talk, but he knew how to sing Many Men song. That's how much I played it. He knew every word to Many Men. And Akon, I'm locked up before he could even really could talk, you know what I mean?
Well, you got offered to be on Piers Morgan's show.
Yeah.
When they were talking about Diddy, but you actually turned him down.
I turned him down.
You know, and I've done Piers Morgan, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times now.
I just feel like I didn't want to go in there talking about Diddy because I don't know Diddy personally, and I was like, man. But that was my first. I just did what the first thing came to my mind. Like, no, I don't even know Diddy. What I'm gonna say? Like, you know what I mean? So, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
but the fact that they even knew me, I'm like, y'all know me on the show.
They probably watch. Well, they watch Vlad TV, so they probably see you on my show. So you know,
I mean,
that's probably how it happened. A lot of people on my show.
But did you see? I think the girl like Tasha K. She got a joint JayZ son on there.
Oh, his alleged son?
No. If you talk to him personally, that's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. You know what I think his son? First of all, JayZ offered him money. At first, he offered him bread, like, and everything, but his aunt, this is like his caretaker, didn't like approve of it. She said, no, JayZ got a lien on her house, all type of shit that was going on. Yeah, the lady put up paperwork and everything with his name on it and all that. I mean, but young boy's so thorough though. He just want a dad. He not trying to get no money. He not trying to do none of that. I mean, that's why. So I told him when he called me 2 years ago, I said, listen, I don't want to be the one to tell your story because they're gonna think I'm trying to catch rep off of it. So let me let you tell your story somewhere else first. I mean, then I could talk about it. But he called me like 2 years ago, telling me like, I said, oh, young boy. He's like, I just want a dad. I don't want no money. I'm already 18. I think he was like 20 something at the time. I mean, but something happened to him, and I was like, yo, that sounds kind of weird. He said he was coming out from work, going to work, and there was a gun in his car. Like when he opened the door, he seen the gun. He said he went to go call his man, like, yo, did you leave a gun in my car? His man's like, no. He said, why you on the phone talking to his man? The cops pull up and lock him up. He said, he told the cops, no, that's not my gun. He's like, so he went in the building he was in, and they seen that somebody pulled up and put the guns in his car.
Oh.
And pulled off. I said, bro, I don't know nobody in the hood that got guns to just waste like that to do that. I don't know what. He's like, yeah, so like JayZ had a gag order against him, like trying to get a gag order and trying to. If my thing is, if this is not my son, I'll just take a test, get over with.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you dodged it and whatever, to me, I don't know. I think his mom was underage or something when he was born, so I think that's probably.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it.
Yeah.
But like I said again, it's not the same as now.
But is his mom still alive?
No, she died. She died.
Huh.
She was 15 when she had him.
Oh. And how old was Jay?
Like 20 something, I guess.
Oh.
Like 20, probably early 20, like 24.
Well, we don't know if it's true. This is just
but I'm saying he took the DNA.
Within seconds, the digital world ignited. Feeds flooded, hashtags blazed, and timelines pulsed with the breaking truth. But inside the courtroom, the spotlight burned hotter on one man alone, JayZ. For decades, he had orchestrated control like a symphony, commanding industries, narratives, and images with the precision of a king guarding his throne. Yet now, beneath the relentless glare of revelation, that mastery fractured. At first, it was only a flicker, the twitch of his jaw, the subtle tightening of his fists, the widening of eyes betraying the storm within. But the cracks widened fast. He shook his head violently, muttering denials only he could hear, as though he could will the truth away. His lawyers swarmed in panic, whispering like desperate medics over a patient flatlining. But their words couldn't contain him. His body locked, his voice rose, and then, like a gunshot, the slam of his hand echoed through the chamber, reverberating off the walls, a sound that told the world the mask had finally shattered.
The man alleging he's the son of JayZ's making more headlines than ever. Rymir Satterthwaite's been trading legal traps with the Rock Nation founder, with details spilling out across court docs surrounding his allegations. Here's everything we know about the person suing a billionaire media mogul. For one, Rymir's lawsuit alleges JayZ ignored repeated calls for a paternity test. Per Rymir and his godmother's legal filings, Rymir's mother Wanda allegedly engaging in a brief romance with a pre-famed Jay, who allegedly fathered Rymir with, at the time, a 16-year-old Wanda, who has since died. Rymir's team accusing Jay of tampering with legal proceedings, misusing his high-profile influence with public officials, along with claiming Jay's never outright denied he's Rymir's biological father. Meanwhile, Jay's new filing contends Rymir's lawsuit's just the latest in decades-long harassment. Inside the June 16th court docs obtained by E! News, Jay's attorney said the fabricated allegations and claims have been addressed and rejected in multiple other courts. Jay's team also saying they attempted contact with Rymir's godmother and co-plaintiff, but she hung up after they called to request more time to prepare their response. E! News has reached out to both JayZ and Rymir for comment, but has not yet heard back.
To JayZ and Diddy in her response?
Yeah, this is sort of like, you know, if a child asks you for something and you're trying to like teach them a lesson, you say, no, not right now. You know, go be good for a little while, then come back and ask me again. That is almost exactly what Judge Annalisa Torres did here. She wanted to send a message directly to Alex Spiro, who is obviously one of the most prolific attorneys in the country right now. I've known him for 20 years. He started as a DA in Manhattan. I knew him as a DA in Manhattan. I had cases against him as a DA in Manhattan. And he's gone on to do incredible things. But he has a very specific style. And there's a lot of people who don't like that style. And Judge Torres is one of them. He's now twice kind of taken the reins and tried to take control of the narrative of cases by putting on sort of these preemptive press conferences. He did it with Mayor Adams, and he did it now with JayZ, where he goes to the press and essentially puts on a PowerPoint and says, hey, this is why I think this case is garbage. This is all the inconsistencies. This is where this case fails. But it's obviously from his point of view. And so the judge doesn't like that. You know, the other side of that, especially as for me as a defense attorney, is, well, that's what the DAs do every time they make a big arrest. That's what the federal prosecutors do every time they make a big arrest. They go in front of the camera and they put on this sort of dog and pony show press conference to like tell the nation why this is such a just arrest, why this is such a just prosecution, and to try to get public opinion behind them as they move forward in the case. It's really Alex Spiro doing the exact opposite thing to help his client, but the judge really didn't like it. And so all of that is to say that this ruling to me is specifically directed at Alex Spiro, saying, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like all the motions you're filing. I don't like how you're going about handling this case. And if you continue to do it.
Through the hushed chamber, history cracked open. The unshakable mogul, the titan of billion-dollar deals and flawless composure, was unraveling in plain view. JayZ's face flushed with a storm of anger, disbelief, and fear. Every flicker of emotion caught mercilessly by the cameras. Every fracture in his legendary calm, immortalized forever. He was no longer the untouchable icon, but a man stripped bare, forced to confront a truth he had buried in the shadows for too long. Across the room, Rymir sat frozen, his gaze locked on the father who had once denied him. This was the moment he had fought for, the vindication he had been denied over and over, branded as an opportunist chasing fame. And yet, as the truth crowned him, there was no triumph in his face, only years of silence, of wounds unhealed, of questions that DNA could answer but never mend. The tension strangled the air until the judge's gavel thundered for order, but the echoes carried something far greater, the collapse of a myth and the rise of a reckoning.
Contentious case like this, so I wouldn't have expected it to be granted anyway. So the second possibility is that Quinn Emanuel just decided it's not the best motion. It's not our best. We have a separate motion to dismiss the complaint against our client. That's the motion that we want to see through. That's the motion we want the judge to focus on. We want her to focus on the merits and dismiss the claims against our client. We don't care about the sanctions stuff. We're going to get it go. And my third theory, which I have no basis for other than sheer speculation, I want to say that up front, is that there's some kind of deal here between the lawyers. The lawyers have accused each other, right? Busby's accused Quinn Emanuel of going after his clients and trying to get them to bring malpractice cases. Quinn Emanuel's gone after Busby and accused him of trying to drum up clients to bring claims against Combs and against JayZ. And maybe the attorneys have reached some sort of understanding about the ground rules. Maybe not, but maybe they have, and letting this motion go is part of that understanding. That would be my third possible reason.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned that it's speculation, but I think by you kind of explaining that, I feel like that might also be very plausible. I want to go back to what you said during kind of your second explanation, where, I'm sure JayZ from his side, he probably wants this lawsuit just to be, or this complaint to be dismissed, or not even amended in the first place, made in the first place. Obviously, nothing goes away in the blink of an eye, excuse me. But in your opinion, watching all of this legal back and forth that's been unfolding these past few months, do you think there is enough to dismiss, or do you think at a point this will even get litigated?
I think it's going to get litigated. If I had to guess, I haven't really studied the complaint against the motion to dismiss, so I don't have a advanced opinion about it. But my reaction to it is that the complaint accuses him of some very bad stuff, and that ought to be enough to move the case forward. That's my guess. Now, remember, at the outset of these litigations, we go through kind of a honing phase where the dispute is sort of narrowed down to certain parties and certain claims. And sometimes the motion to dismiss doesn't get rid of the case entirely, but it gets rid of some of the claims, or it gets rid of some of the parties. I see today, by way of example, there's a brand new filing dismissing defendant Bad Boy Records, LLC. There were separate claims against that company, and I don't know where all these companies fit in the pantheon of Bad Boy Records, but that company has been dismissed voluntarily from the action. And you'll see that kind of thing at the beginning.
The chaos detonated before the judge's gavel could silence it. JayZ's lawyers lunged for a recess, clawing at time itself to shield their client from further ruin. But Jay was already spiraling. He pushed back from his chair, pacing like a caged animal, hands slicing through the air, his voice cracking into fragments that betrayed the collapse of a man once defined by eloquence and control. The cameras rolled relentlessly, capturing the unraveling of an icon in real time. What the world saw was no longer the mogul, the empire builder, the cultural king, but a man stripped to raw fear, burdened by secrets dragged mercilessly into daylight. Outside, the crowd erupted in chaos, some crying, some raging, some defending, all caught in the tidal wave of truth. Online, the storm became a hurricane. Hashtag soared, memes exploded, clips of his breakdown looped endlessly across screens. Inside, JayZ slumped back down, trembling, head in his hands, as the weight of it all settled. No deal, no money, no empire could erase DNA. The implications rippled outward, threatening his marriage, his children, his billion-dollar legacy. Across the courtroom, Rymir sat frozen, vindicated at last, but hollowed by years of absence no verdict could repair. For JayZ, this was not scandal, it was reckoning. And as the doors closed, the echoes of the gavel followed him, heavy and unrelenting, reminding the world that it had just watched a titan break, and that the fall was only beginning. The truth has shattered the silence, but this is only the beginning. What happens when an empire cracks? When the man who built an unshakable legacy is forced to face the ghosts he tried to bury? The story doesn't end here. It's just getting darker, louder, and more dangerous. Subscribe now Turn on the bell and don't miss the next chapter of this explosive saga. Because the reckoning of JayZ is far from over, and the world is watching. His silence was only the beginning, and what came next would change everything. One sentence, one truth, one moment powerful enough to shatter legacies forever. Don't miss what happens when the verdict is finally spoken. Subscribe now, hit the bell, and be the first to witness the unraveling of an empire.